7 the ticket. I am a bread lover, but no, I am not Jake Bachman. Nate Brennan, Nate Doggy Dog, as Strick would say, checking in. And I am joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland. Good to see you today, my man.
Always a pleasure, Nate. Man, it's always good to be here on the block, first of all. And thank you for the listeners that continue to follow the progress of what we're doing here. And we're glad that you can join us, man. We're happy to have you. Definitely love to keep you around.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Strick said, we love to have you around, so make sure you text us 402-464-5685. We love to hear from you. We got a lot of topics we're talking about today too. The Nets, to start out, they got swept. So some transfer news that potentially could impact Nebraska basketball. We're going to talk about the Heisman Watch for college football. We're going to be all over the place today. Again, you're listening to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket, 402-464-5685. We want to hear from you on any of your thoughts on all of this. And Strick, I want to make sure that we start out with Baylor Scheierman. You sent me a message last night, or maybe it was this morning, kind of letting me know about it. And then I did some digging and looked a little bit about his background. And the first thing that really comes to mind is I talked to Rico and Nick about it too as well. He's a Nebraska native, wasn't highly recruited, coming from South Dakota. He's now, some are calling him the biggest name in the transfer portal in a long time, maybe ever. Do you think there's any type of spite? Maybe spite's not the right word, but do you think there's anything that makes him not want to come to Nebraska simply because he wasn't offered out of high school?
Well, I think one of the things can be with that is that, it was early in the tenure of Fred Hoiberg. So at that point, he really didn't have, the opportunity to really hone in on Nebraska recruits. He's coming from the NBA at that time. So it was something that can be missed. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, I don't think there could be any animosity regarding that, or a chip on the shoulder, or being angry or upset that you were overlooked, because that wasn't necessarily the case dealing with Fred. So I think, he's 6'6", he's very skilled. And this is the part that I want to get into. It's one of those things when I look back at it. I mean, the kid is out of Aurora. What ends up happening a lot of the times is you get small they're not called conferences, they're class. So you deal with small class, Nebraska kids and so forth and so on. Unless they're playing in a top-notch AAU program, that's where, some of that overlooking can happen. And I don't think he played in one of the top programs at that time that was from Nebraska. So yeah, there's so really that was the case. But here's the thing I want to talk about. The kid was able to progress. Right. And this is what I want to talk about Nebraska kids, is their work ethic is next level. And I'm reminded of the time when we used to play, we had Valentinos, the Valentinos Nebraska national team. And really, we would only go to one or two tournaments in the year. So we didn't have AAU in that level, but we would go and play in Vegas, and we would do really well. On the verge of breaking through, took a falling tip in from Jason Kidd to beat us before we went to the Final Four. Lost to a Jimmy King, Craig Ostertag team out of Dallas, but we played them really tough. And here's the significance of that. We always had the top tier talent. At that time, it was me, it was Andre on those teams, Badgett, Curtis Marshall. And we had those type of athletically gifted kids that can penetrate, score, physical, do different things of that nature. And then we always had those Nebraska kids that came out of Lincoln or the west of Nebraska, Scottsbluff, Columbus. And they were skilled in a different way. They could shoot. They were fundamentally sound. And that's how we would literally, people would look at us, Nebraska, we gonna run through them. And we would end up beating the brakes off of them.
Right.
And And that happened because we used that combination of those athletically skilled type of guys with the fundamentally skilled type of guys. And we used that balance to a T. We would penetrate, create, find those guys, and they would be knocking jumpers down. Right. And we would have a big guy every now and then, the Vogels, and we would have, at the time, Markowski wasn't old enough, but those guys. So you have your Malkowskis, you have your Jason Glocks, who was on the team with us. You have your Chad Ideases, and they come from those smaller classes, but they're gifted and they're talented. And that was the balance we had at Nebraska. Mm-hmm. That's what's been missed, is you have those guys like me and Badge and, Andre and, the likes of those types that were in-state kids. And we combined them at Nebraska with those smaller class, but we kept them. Mm-hmm. And it was a reason for it, because they were the heartbeat of our program, right? They were the ones that did the dirty work. They were the ones that pressed and tested us every day in practice. They're the ones that wanted it just as much as we did. Mm-hmm. And they had good success. And so that's what happens with this type of player. Same thing with my mind just drew a blank. God darn it. Frankie Fiddler out of Omaha. Same type of thing, gifted kid, talented, has got skills, and they go and develop and they turn it out in whatever league they're in. Yeah. So that's what's happening with, Baylor Shireman. And Baylor Shireman's looked at for everybody and their mama. Right now it's Duke, it's Kentucky, it's KU, it's Gonzaga, it's Baylor, UNC, Arizona. Yeah. Every team that was in the Final Four and the Sweet Eight, the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight, Michigan State, Arkansas, Louisville. You just go down the list. Creighton, Wisconsin, Oregon, Texas. I could keep going, right? They're all wanting this kid, and they want what he brings to the table, which is very skilled, solid, shoots almost a 50 clip from three, can still do some things offensively. He makes sound decisions with the ball. And so you have that, and that's what they want, because that's the type of player that you want to balance on your team, right? But that's why I was talking about the missing, and I know you wanted to get into that. That's what's been missing in Nebraska, is that they haven't really went after those kids that are your foundational pieces to your program. And he's that guy.
Absolutely. And there are a couple of things that you mentioned there that I want to bring up and kind of follow up on and ask you. The first one is, you talk about Omaha, and then you mentioned Creighton was in that list of schools that has already shown interest, said that we would like you to come be a part of our team. If you're a kid from Nebraska right now, what's keeping you from going to Creighton over Nebraska? In recent years, Greg McDermott has proven that he can not only lead a team to an NCAA tournament, he can go to the Sweet 16. Last year was supposed to be a down year for Creighton, and they're 2 minutes away and a collapse from beating Kansas, who is your eventual national champion. So I think something that might be a little bit different now than what we've looked at in years past is, if you're a kid from Nebraska, I'm probably going to choose Creighton over Nebraska at this point in time.
Well, and rightfully so. I think, you've just got to go into a tremendous sale mode as to what you would try to provide to him in the program, and what you would be able to do in helping them. Depending on what happens in the draft situations with Bryce and stuff like that, those things could help you. But at the end of the day, you're right. If you're a young kid, you haven't seen success at Nebraska, you saw what happened last year. What would make you want to go at this point? You have to sell, and that's what we just haven't been able to do as well. We haven't been able to sell, we've been able to bring talent, but they just haven't been able to mesh and gel. They haven't been able to, get cohesion, and work in unison into winning games, and that's been a problem. But yeah, man, this kid Baylor Shireman is a tremendous. He's an athlete. He was a record-setting quarterback. He was an athlete.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. They're probably small. They're thin-framed, And it was the same thing that they did with Justin Patton. I mean, they looked at his frame when he was coming out before he went to Creighton. But you don't think about your weight program. You don't think about how you're going to put pounds on the kid. You got to look beyond sometimes just the eye test. And that's sometimes what ends up happening. But this kid, he can stroke it. But one of the things I do want to get into, though, when I looked into his stats, there was something that stood out to me, right? I think this can be overcome just because of the way that he played in the tournament against Providence. I think he redeemed himself on that aspect. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the Power 5 schools that he played this year against Alabama, he was 3 for 12. 3 for 12, 0 for 7 from 3, 10 points. When he played against Washington, 5 for 15, 2 for 5 from 3. Still had a solid game because he got to the free throw line. But the shooting was down because of the physicality, I think, the strength, the level of the play. Then you go against Washington State. He was 4 for 10, 1 for 4 from 3. Then you go further down, and I think he had one more game. I want to say, Anyway, yeah, I think he had one other game where he just had a low number, and that's okay. Because I still think he can overcome that with the skill. He's not going to be required like he was on that team to be that man. He's going to be that second, third, maybe fourth option, which is going to allow him to be able to do what he does well and to do it at a higher clip than I think that he did it. But he showed success in the summit, and those things translate. You can't change shooting. I mean, somebody that can stroke it. I don't care. Who you're playing. If you get a good look, you can stroke it, and that's what this kid can do.
Well, I think the best comparison that I had was probably you look at UNC last year. Brady Manick, he transfers from Oklahoma, obviously coming from a Power 5 school, but he went into that UNC team. It was Caleb Love and Armando Bacot's team. He comes in as the third option. He makes an immediate impact. They go to the national championship. That's the kind of player that I think that you're getting with him. The only thing that I want to get your opinion on is when you look at the Power 5 offers that he has, UNC is a part of that group. So you look at some of these blue blood programs that you add someone like Baylor Shireman, you assume you're going to take it to the next level. Kentucky has already been shown. I've seen a few articles. They're making a strong push. They believe that he's their guy. He's going to take them over the next level. The thing that I said about this is if you're a guy like Baylor Shireman, I'm assuming winning is probably at the top of your priority list and getting noticed and recognized. NBA scouts, talent, so you want to go to a Power 5 school. Is Kentucky really a good option? I mean, this one and done thing is great, but me and Nick talked about it. You haven't won a national championship since 2012. You're going to be playing with a bunch of 5-star freshmen that think that they're the guy. Is that really the best spot for you? At that point, I think that you probably choose Nebraska over Kentucky. But again, the first thing when you Google Baylor Shireman, the first thing that comes up is Kentucky, this big push that they're making. I just think for a kid like this, I don't know if that's your best move.
I would say when I look down the list of those teams, some of the best fits that would probably be for him would probably be a KU, a Gonzaga, a Creighton, maybe a Michigan State, Arizona, definitely probably those type of fits just by the way that they play and the style that they play. Even Wisconsin, those would be some styles that I think would fit good with him. I think the open style that Nebraska presents and the way that they want to shoot the ball, they still haven't established an identity for me that I feel comfortable with. And as I've talked to Bach on many occasions, when I was at Nebraska, there was an identity. We were physical. We were going to run you until your wheels fell off, and we were going to defend. That was our identity. I haven't still seen what the identity of Nebraska is, but the style that I perceive they want to play fits for Baylor Shireman as to the way that he would like. It would be very open. The way that he's able to make great decisions. That's kind of some of the stuff that Fred and the staff want. They want guys that can make good decisions, that can take care of the ball, that can stroke it, and get out in the open court and be able to create opportunities. And those are the things that I see that have yet to be established, but I still see. And he fits that mode. And so just looking at it, I don't see him as a Duke type of player. I don't see him. I think UCLA is way too flashy type of organization. Louisville's been down. Arkansas is going to get after you defensively. I don't know what his defensive prowess is, but they're very good defensively.
Absolutely.
And so I don't see any other place. Memphis wants him, but I don't see a fit there. Maybe Texas A&M, maybe, but the ones that I shared, I think are the ones that would be the best fit for his style of play.
And Texas A&M, Buzz Williams. Shout out to Buzz Williams. Got a couple texts here. Starter Heyman, text line 402-464-5685. I want to get to this one first, Strick. Jory says, I'd rather have a new team every year and win and make the NCAA tournament than have a bunch of all-talk program in Nebraska. Winning, no matter how ugly, is always better. I mean, I understand what you're saying just because it's been so long that Nebraska wins, but man, I just imagine I had one buddy that graduated from Kentucky and he was all for it, loved following them in basketball, but it's a new team every year. It's a bunch of 5-star freshmen that got big egos and think that they're going to be the guy on campus. And it's painful for me to watch. I hate it. I don't like it. I would rather root for a team like Nebraska, even if they are losing. For the most part, historically, they've been able to keep guys 3-4 years. They've been able to build teams, and I'd much rather root for something like that.
Yeah, there's just been so much turnover because of the coaching changes, and the first part of it, dang near everybody and their mom left, and so you're trying to do this smoke and mirror shuffle type of game, but it just hasn't worked, and it's created an instability in the program at this point that he needs to try to. I mean, he doesn't. I don't know how much time he has. I don't know what's going to be the criteria that he would have to meet in order for Trev to feel comfortable at this point. But I do know that he's trying to build a very similar team like Iowa in that they're all long. Like there's length in every position. I mean, from the point, everybody's dang near 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Then you got some diversity where guys that are 6'7" or whatever can play different. But one of the good things about Shireman is he rebounds. That's something that's missing as well from the guard position. He rebounds very well. And so those are some things that he didn't really have. But those guys that I think are coming are solid fundamental guys that will put bodies on guys and do what it takes. And their length would be able to create a balance across the board that helps them to have some success in those areas of basically playing good defense and securing the rebounds. That's what they didn't do last year, and it cost them a lot of games. They, when runs would happen, they just didn't have nothing to go to. It became stagnant. It became one-on-one. It became, but I don't think with what he's trying to amass now, that would be the case. I think those guys would look to kind of make the right plays and move the ball a little bit. That's what it seems to me. But that's yet to be seen. We'll see when the time comes.
Yeah, I think Iowa. Two names that come to mind. First off is Keegan Murray and Luka Garza. Like you said, big, long guys, can rebound, shoot the basketball, defend, all of that. This text comes from Jay and Lincoln again, 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. Give us any questions you got, any comments about the Baylor Shireman situation. Jay asks, Strick, if you were a head coach, would you recruit one and done, and how would you overcome that if you did?
I would take a one and done, but I would take the Mark Free and the Jay Wright type programs where you're having foundational guys. You're in college. You're in college. Yes, you want to put guys in the NBA. You can do that. You still can do that by doing it that way. But I would definitely want to create a deeper foundation of guys that are willing to put in the time, put in the effort, put in the work, buy into what we're trying to do, and then let everything take its course. What ends up happening with one and done guys, everybody's shooting for numbers. Everybody's trying to do something special. And then that can mess up the chemistry. Yeah, that can mess up the chemistry of the team because it becomes really about you. And so those things can throw chemistry off. I think that's probably one of the problems that they had at Memphis initially, right? With Imani Bates and all of that.
Right.
Guys that think they're one and done and they think they're going to come in and put up these big numbers and find out that the game is tremendously different than AAU, and the size and the speed all increases. And so it continues to do so at each level. So you want sound, fundamental, tight with their game type of guys that have a concept of understanding what team is and what it means, that your success is my success, our success breeds future success. And if you do that, then you'll find yourself that more guys would find their way into the professional ranks.
And I think a big thing too, I mean, every time that I think about the one and done, the first name that comes to mind is Kentucky. You haven't won a national championship in a decade. I know it's difficult to win a national championship, but you also lost to St. Peter's in the first round. So you can have these one and dones, but St. Peter's, when they have those, 3-4 seniors on the team, hey, that's big. And in Nebraska's perfect example too. You had a 5-star recruit. It got you 3 wins in the Big Ten. So I'm with you, Strick. I think you got to have those guys in your teams if you want to win, especially in the Big Ten. Great stuff. 402-464-5685. Make sure you text us. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the NBA and the Brooklyn Nets. Kind of a disaster. A complete and total chaotic disaster. Strick, the NBA vet, Husker Hall of Famer. Curious to hear what he has to say about all that. Make sure you stay with us. You listen to On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
And we're joined by Yoshi Hardrick, former Nebraska offensive lineman, currently a Winnipeg Blue Bomber of the CFL, 2-time champion. What was it like going from the Big 12 to the Big 10 1 year to the next?
Well, my first defensive end was 280 to 300 pounds. And every team we played had 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're about to play some football.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock, or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. Husker fans, continue to support the Nebraska softball team during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. On Friday, the first 500 fans receive a water bottle. Come out Saturday and be one of the first 500 fans to receive a blanket. And on Sunday, if you're one of the first 500 fans, you'll get a pint glass. Saturday's game is also Senior Day and is free admission for everyone. For more information, visit Huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086. If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
The Home Builders Association of Lincoln and Bombers Garage are proud to sponsor this year's Cruisin' for the Trades car show on May 1st. It's the first major car show of the season, and they have 20 plus big trophies for muscle cars, old cars, classics, trucks and bikes, EVs, and anything in between. Register your car today at hbal.org and enter into as many categories as you wish for the show at SCC's campus at 88th and O. Proceeds from the event go to the Lincoln Home Builders Care Foundation to support careers in construction. Register today at hbal.org.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
The faculty and staff at Wilbur-Claytonia School District reminds us that most folks have enough sense to hold a child's hand while crossing a busy street. But the internet is an information superhighway, and unfortunately, it's replete with predators and cyberbullies. Make sure your youngster is neither a victim nor victimizer, whether chat rooms, social media, emails, and also text messages. Be sure technology is an aid to their education, not a threat. The faculty and staff at Wilbur-Claytonia School District working tirelessly for student and family safety. Our academic calendar is online at wilburclaytonia.org. Call 402-821-2266.
Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime. At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A very good Tuesday afternoon to all of you on the block. 93.7 The Ticket. Nate Brennan filling in for Jake Bakoven. He is still on his sabbatical in California. We're not entirely sure what all he's doing out there. You should have some stories from the USC spring game, though. So that'll be fun to get his thoughts on that. I'm joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland, joining me in now. Going to talk some NBA. And I love always talking with you about the NBA. Obviously, NBA vet. You have some very, I would say, reasonable expectations, reasonable thoughts on the NBA, which is why I always like to come with you. And we can get right into it and go right to the Brooklyn Nets. That's been the main talk of a lot of SportsCenter, First Take, basically anywhere you look, CBS Sports, Fox Sports, anywhere you look, the Nets have been the talk. So I'll just ask you, first off, Strick, your thoughts about what happened with the Nets.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with just a lot of the inconsistencies of the whole season, right? The injuries, the hamstring for James Harden, Durant dang near by himself, then the Kyrie Irving situation of not playing, then playing part-time, and then so say what you will, it's tough. It's tough to not be able to have cohesion throughout the whole season, right? Partial plays, things change, lineups change. You get used to playing with different groups all the time. There's really no symbiosis as to how you're moving, knowing where you're at. And then they just really didn't have the adjustments that I thought was needed and necessary for them to get through. I think one of the biggest issues for them was the James Harden trade. You gave up so much of your capital, and 3 of those players now are having great success. A couple of them, I think, became all-stars. And so you gave up all of that capital to secure James Harden, who is not there for you, and really you didn't play many games together as a unit, so you really weren't able to take advantage of what it was that you did. That's going to be, I think, the thing that hinders them, especially with the looming issue now with Kyrie Irving having the potential to become a free agent. That part right there, that instability, because the thing that we know about Kyrie is that it's unpredictable, right? You wouldn't be surprised if he stayed. You wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. So you just don't know how that's going to pan out and what that looks like for Durant. He signed the long-term deal. So, and the issue is they're cap strapped. So those pieces, and when you're trying to put a team together, and I can talk about that, but I think we'll get into it deeper in the second. Actually, we can dig into it now. Here's the one thing that I like to say, right? If you have two superstars, right, you have to surround them. The two superstars, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. You have to surround them with players that have a unique skill set that can complement them, right? Mm-hmm. So here's an example. Boston. You have your two in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Right.
Those are your two stars set apart. But you have guys that have a unique skill set in Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Derek White, who comes off the bench and gives you just a lot of different variations on his style of play. Robert Williams on the inside and what he does defensively and in the being able to handle big men. Then you bring in vets like Tice and Horford, who's also there, who just they're very complimentary. They just do things solid. They're all bought into the program. They understand their roles and they implement those roles. That's what you have, and that's why you have success. Let's look at another team. You've got Golden State. You have the Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson. Those are your two stars. That's your team. But with them, you now have allowed, with the injury of Thompson and coming in late, you allowed Jordan Poole to develop. You drafted him late in the first round. Now he starts to emerge. You have vets who do the defensive dirty work, the rebounding dirty work, who's going to dive on the loose balls, who's going to be a physical presence in Draymond Green. You have a super vet who just knows his role, does his job in Iguodala. Then you bring in, just complementary players, Wiggins and Weissman, who do there. And then you also found another one in Gary Payton II, who defensively is going to just lock down whoever it is that you need to put him on. That's what you have with that group. And they bought into the system and the program. Brooklyn doesn't have that. And that's why I think you saw what you saw in this playoff series as to why they came up short.
Going off of that, I think that brings up a good question. Would you say the era of their super team, I don't even know how long you would define the era as, but I know the big talk was building a super team. The Clippers kind of fell into that. You add Kawhi, Paul George out of free agency to go on with Montrezl Harrell, Patrick Beverly, Lou Williams. List goes on and on. The Lakers do the same thing. You bring in LeBron James and Anthony Davis play together. You throw in Russell Westbrook to the mix. The Nets kind of the most recent to that too. I mean, you bring in Kyrie, Kevin Durant, James Harden. You build these super teams. But last year was a perfect example. Guess who finished out on top? The Milwaukee Bucks. Mm-hmm. Guess who's one of the favorites this year? The Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat, the Phoenix Suns. One superstar with an all-star complimentary. You had a Batman with a Robin with Middleton. Come on, go ahead. Right. Mm-hmm. And you just look at these teams across the landscape of the NBA, and I don't know if you call the super team necessarily a failure because it obviously worked with the Golden State Warriors. They added Kevin Durant. He wanted to make a super team of his own. So I guess maybe that's where the era starts. I don't know if you throw the Cleveland Cavaliers into that.
You made a point, and I'm gonna tap that. I'm right where you're at. You can do that early on. Right. That's why you saw it work early on in the ways. There were some guys that took some sacrifices. They had some big bags, but you already had foundation supporting cast, i.e. Miami, right? You had your Chalmers, you had your Udonis Haslams. They were already there. So you throw those guys in there, the salary doesn't kill you at that point, right?
Right.
It's trying to do it or duplicate it. So you had the Kevin Durant situation. You had, the Cleveland Cavs situation. You can do that early on as long as you have those foundational pieces there already,
Right.
right? But when you try to trade to get it,
Build it from scratch,
build it,
basically. Yeah.
you can't, because you've got to give up too much capital. So then it cap straps you, and then you don't really have those complementary players, and then it doesn't work. That's why I think it's pretty much over. It's really got to be a two-star with complementary guys based on salary cap issues, unless you want to blow the salary cap out of the water and you just don't care. I think you're starting to see Dallas now starting to figure it out. You know, when you let Kristaps go, now you've got, you know, your Jalen Brunsons, you've got a bunch of Dinwiddies, you've just got a bunch of complementary guys
MVP
around Luka
every year. Yeah.
That's what you got. And they all understand roles. They all step up if there's a void, and they're ready to step up, but it's not a long-term solution for their step up, which causes you a problem. Luka coming back has helped them tremendously, because you can do it for a little while, but sooner or later it'll catch up with you. You know, how long can you do it? But that's been the thing, because when Clay was down, you had Jordan Poole that filled the void.
And that was a big thing that I didn't even really think about. I guess the Clippers and the Nets and the Lakers, they were all built from scratch. None of those guys were there. I mean, you took in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You took in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. The list goes on. The Clippers, I mean, Paul George was in OKC. Kawhi Leonard was with the Raptors. It's a great point. I didn't even think about it like that. But let me ask you this then. So you're the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving, I would assume, is going to exercise his player option, because who the hell wants Kyrie Irving right now? Probably no one. Kevin Durant just signed this long-term deal. He's stuck there. Ben Simmons, you gave up assets. You got some assets in return. You kind of stuck with him too, and who even knows if he wants to play basketball anymore? Where do you go from here? It looks like Steve Nash is probably going to be the first domino to fall, but you can get rid of Steve Nash all you want. I don't think that's going to fix the serious problem in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't think that fixes the problem. Now listen, there's two ways you can say about Ben. I think Ben let the team down, because you could have given him something. I think this can still happen with the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans have an opportunity. I mean, watching what Zion's doing in his warm-ups and practices before, give me 15, give me 10. You know,
something. Yeah.
You know, that's the way. Okay, if you want to monitor the play, you can give me something, because that can change the dynamic of a different series, right? Because now they got to make adjustments in how they're going to defend you, guard you, and gameplay for you. So, you know, that's the thing I think with Brooklyn. Yes, could Simmons have changed a 3-0 deficit in that series? I don't think so. But I think defensively, and some of the things he could have done, and especially in his open, in the open court, of being able to take the ball, create mismatch situations, and give some reprieve for Kyrie and Durant to be able to kind of spot up and maybe hit a few, attack the basket, do things like that. But, you kind of let them down. And so the same thing, I think, may end up being the downfall for Philly at the end of the day. If Harden right now is not showing and like what Harden is and is been in his career to be. So, I'm starting to look more at those other teams right now. If they can get Middleton back in any capacity, I think they have a chance to do something. Drew Holiday is starting to step up and kind of play a little bit better now. So if they can get him going, their complementary players are just fine to be able to make a run with what's going on right now in the East. I see, but out West right now, Golden State, especially with Phoenix down without Booker, they're in trouble. Phoenix is in trouble without Booker, but so it's looking like it's going to be a Golden State in either maybe a Philly or maybe
Miami.
Miami's got good complementary of guys, so they've got that balance that could take you there. Do they have what it takes to win? That's yet to be seen. I just don't know. I just don't know in a 7-game in a final. Are they that guy? Are they those guys to do that?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the circus too. That was the Brooklyn Nets, a big thing too, and it was mentioned today on a couple outlets. I saw some people tweet it. Even if you had Kyrie Irving for every game of this season, it's probably a different series. One, they're probably not the 7 seed. 2, you get an entire season of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant playing together. You're looking at a completely different series. So not only is it the Simmons situation, it's the Kyrie Irving situation. Kevin Durant has already gotten onto Twitter coming at fans. I mean, it's a circus over there. And the problem that you run into now is you're kind of stuck. I don't really know where you go from here if you're Brooklyn, honestly.
And the issue is that they're the eye of the New York press right now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
New York is kind of faded into black. They're kind of just slid off on the side. They used to be the ones that get all the smoke, but now with what's going on over there, it's Brooklyn that's getting the smoke. And if you ain't got a hard skin out in New York, bro, they're gonna eat you alive. Yeah. The media out there will eat you up. The fans will eat you up. So yeah, they don't play.
I think Philly's the same way too. You can ask Ben Simmons about that. He'll probably tell you those Philly fans are brutal as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead and call us 402-464-5685 Honda of Lincoln hotline. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. We've been talking NBA playoffs. The questions will be about the NBA playoffs. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs next hour. We'll talk about some other things too. We'll talk some college football. We'll have a lot of fun. Make sure you go ahead and call us 402-464-5685. It is time to play the game. Shootout with Strick. Coming up next, listen to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Old School with DP and J.
I learned this about the difference between the college game and the NFL. Every play is designed offensively and defensively for one guy to make a mistake, whether it's being out of your gap, forgetting the blitz, forgetting a check on offense, forgetting the snap count. In college, it might be explosive play, 15 yards, whatever you deem as explosive play. The pros,
all of them are house.
All of them are the guy will hit his head on the goalpost.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Breezy but warmer conditions on the way for our Tuesday, topping out near 72. South winds could gust over 25 to 30 miles per hour. Heading into tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low down to 50. Even warmer tomorrow with an afternoon high of around 80. And once again, south winds gusting to near 30. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Husker fans, your Nebraska softball team is competing for the 2022 Big Ten regular season title. There are 3 more chances to support your Huskers at home during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. For more information on promotions, visit Huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
It is time to play the game. Shootout with Strick. $15. Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line. You're listening to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. I will warn you, whoever our caller is, 402-464-5685, go ahead and give us a call. Strick is on a bit of a hot streak, to say the least. He's won 5 in a row. So we're going to need someone that knows their stuff about the NBA playoffs. That's all I'll say. Strick, he's out for blood. But he plays with the people. So no matter what, we will be giving away $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. We have Neil on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Neil, how do you feel about the NBA playoffs?
Pretty confident, fairly confident.
Strick, how does that make you feel? You're getting a little bit nervous?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous today.
Hey, 6 would be a streak, and I will say, before you get upset with me, I did not contact Bach.
That's all right.
It is
he's got a lot of makeup to do when he gets back.
He does. No, he does. Neil,
I'll be in studio Thursday though.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Hey, you play or you can do Thursday with us, Kevin Meyer.
I'll be in there.
Neil, as we always do, we're going to have Strick go first to make sure you know how many points you have to get. So make sure that you stay on the line. And Strick, let me make sure I pot this down because usually Bach's blowing people's ears out. Don't know what's going on in their car. All right, Strick, are you ready?
Let's get it.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. Who is leading the Pelicans in points per game? Jonas Valanciunas or Devontae Graham?
Graham.
It's actually
Ingram. Oh,
what Bulls player entered the health and safety protocol today? Zach LaVine or Nikola Vucevic?
Vucevic.
It was LaVine. True or false? Kyrie scored more points than Seth Curry last night.
No. False.
That is correct. Who led the Nets in rebounds last night? Kevin Durant or Goran Dragic?
Goran Dragic.
That is correct. How many times did Steve Nash win the MVP award as a player?
Twice.
That is correct. Didn't even need the buzzer. Strick, you did miss 3, though, so you're going to finish with 3 points, which is
4 points. 4.
4
2
points.
right.
4 points.
2 right, and the money ball, baby. You're trying to take my points.
No, that's 3. Oh, wait. No. You're right.
Oh,
down
boy, I tell you, you and Bach, you guys try to, boy, I swear.
Hey, I'm the one that always is checking in the other studio. I have Nick checking me. Nick, all right, Nick's showing me the 4, so we made sure we got it 4. I stand corrected. Neil, I was trying to help you out. I apologize. I tried to slip in a 3 there.
I would have felt a lot more comfortable if it was that way.
Unfortunately, I probably would.
You got to give me a point here.
Hey, listen, I believe in you. I've said this to the past 2 people that have come on this, though, so prove me right, Neil. I'm trusting you to win this, all right? Are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. True or false? Blake Griffin ended last night's game with 0 points.
False.
That is actually true. Who is averaging the most points per game for Minnesota? Karl Anthony Towns or D'Angelo Russell?
Carl-Anthony Towns.
That is correct. Who scored the most points for Boston last night? Jason Tatum or Marcus Smart?
Tatum.
That is correct. Who led the Utah Jazz in scoring last night? Jordan Clarkson or Donovan Mitchell?
Jordan Clarkson.
That is correct. And for the win, where did the Sixers big man Joel Embiid go to college?
Kansas.
That is correct. Neil doesn't need the buzzer either. Neil, you proved me right. Your streak will end at 5. Neil, I'll make sure to go ahead and give you your shout. Here, let me pot you up real quick. I'll make sure to give you your shout outs.
Hell yeah. I said, give me a hell yeah.
And I don't even know if Bach does this one, but I love this one.
Boom shakalaka.
Now, Neil, as we always do also, now that you have won, would you like to talk trash to Strick or would you like to take the high road?
I'll take the high road. Too much respect.
My man, Neil, I appreciate you. Congratulations. Great job, man.
Good stuff, Neil. Make sure you stay on the line, and Nick will make sure you get your prize. There he goes. Neil ends the streak at 5. But as I said for Nebraska softball, all good streaks must come to an end. But Strick, I want to make sure that I get the tiebreaker out to you. What is the capacity at Madison Square Garden?
18,855.
You always impress me with that because usually I would just round up and say like 20,000 or something, but you have very specific numbers. You're close, 20,789. Let me ask you this. Favorite memory playing at the Garden?
I think it was against the Milwaukee Bucks. I was in the game late. We needed a 3 to win. And I think Allen Houston drove and kicked it out to the corner and at the buzzer.
You
boom.
hit it?
Yeah, boom.
Hey, you know what?
Boom shakalaka.
That deserves a boom shakalaka. I'll give you a boom shakalaka for that. That's awesome. How many times did you play at the Garden, do you know?
I mean, I was on the team, so then as a player, mostly in Dallas, we definitely play every year in the Eastern Conference. When I was with Boston, we played twice. So I played, I came off the bench for both of those teams one year, not as much with Milwaukee. And so Indiana played quite a bit. So I got to play there. Had some good games. Actually, I think I used to have a picture of me shooting over Patrick Ewing before he retired.
Hey, that's awesome.
I think I had like 25 on John Starks that night, and I got one picture shooting over
John Starks.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
you
was
know
a
I'm
good
a
game.
Pacers guy, so I'm not a big John Starks fan, so I love to hear
Yeah.
that. Now that I know that you have some clout at Madison Square Garden, you're going to get me courtside. How's that sound?
Oof. That's a tough one. That's a big ticket item.
We can sit next to Spike Lee. We talk trash to
That's a big ticket
Trevor
item
Lawrence.
on the Garden floor, boy. I tell you, they it's not a cheap ticket. They already tax you out the wazoo. That was the craziest thing about playing in New York after coming from Dallas is that I felt like it was a bridge tax, street tax, oil tax. My check was coming up short. I was like, "What's going on?"
Right. I've been once. I went to a Rangers game. Did you ever go to any Rangers games?
I did not. The Rangers. No, I did not. I think one time for the Islanders. It's out there a little bit on Long Island, so it's out there a little bit. But no, Islander game, never a Ranger game.
All right. Well, again, sorry, Strick. I apologize. Your streak will end at 5. A shout out to Neil. Go ahead and text us too. 402-464-5685. What's your favorite moment in Madison Square Garden? Sounds like Strick has a pretty good one. Probably pretty tough to top, hitting a 3 at the buzzer. But hey, who knows? People have some pretty good stories.
Hey, there might be some listeners that was there for the NIT when we won at Madison Square Garden. It might have been there.
But we got another hour of On the Block. Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to 937 The Ticket.
Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat. There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Wedding season is underway. Stop wearing your fading, wrinkling shirts and update your wardrobe today at M Suits Clothiers in Lincoln. M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and formals. And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's hard to find. And they're family owned, where you are also treated like a part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Superior from 11 to 2 for Husker Sports Talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Superior, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Breezy but warmer conditions on the way for our Tuesday, topping out near 72. South winds could gust over 25 to 30 miles per hour. Heading into tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low down to 50. Even warmer tomorrow with an afternoon high of around 80. And once again, south winds gusting to near 30. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Ortega connoisseur, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega. I like pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach.
Hold up. Yay, yay. Yeah. On the block where the block is hot. And hey, you're not Jake Bakoven. You're not Bach. That is my partner for the day, for the
yes, sir.
Week. My man, Nate Doggy Dog. We thank you, man, for joining us here on the block at 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We appreciate you. We're going to continue with hitting the hardwood. We've got some important games, some people's, their lifeline is on the line. They've got some fish on the hooks, and maybe they're going to be gone fishing after the night's over. We'll take it out to the Eastern Conference with Hitting on the Hardwood with Strick NBA recaps and also what's going on for the NBA playoffs in the Eastern Conference right now. Tonight, Atlanta is on the verge of elimination there in Miami at 7 p.m. tonight on NBA TV. They are down 3-1, the 1 and the 8 seed. I think it gets closed out tonight. As you stated before, I do not think Trae Young is a guy that can. I think he's a great complimentary guy, but I don't think he's an A option to be able to lead you beyond. Yes, they went deep, got to the conference finals, and ended up coming up short. But at the end of the day, I still think they're missing some important pieces that can get him there, and I think he needs a lead role. He is a great second option to me, but I don't think he is that guy that can get you to the top of the pyramid, so to speak.
Yes, Strick, like I've said, I completely agree with you. I don't think Trae Young's the guy. I think the Hawks are an interesting team because if you put a number one around their team, they have the pieces. Like you said, they have the role players. They have the pieces. Last year, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, for crying out loud. What would you say is the one thing that's holding Trae Young back from being that guy? Because I agree with you, and I don't even know if I can really put my finger on it, but it just seems like he's one of those guys, very similar to Russell Westbrook. There's something there that's missing, and I really don't know if I can put my fingers on it.
Yeah, he's Steph Curry-ish, but doesn't do to me the same types of thing that Steph does as far as being able to set up guys and do things. Yes, he does have some good numbers, but I think he plays a little bit too much. Sometimes he takes bad shots, and when they're going, they're going, but when they're not, they're not. And so just like Westbrook, the scouting report on him is he can shoot you in, but he can sure shoot you out.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think at times that's what ends up happening with Trae. And then you just have a bunch of great complimentary guys just standing around watching, and then it ends up with a bad possession in some instances. So I think that continues, especially Miami would definitely love to close this out, being that Boston has done so. They would love to get that same amount of rest that they're going to be able to get waiting on the next opponent to come and see them. And so I think Miami would definitely like to get that rest in order to see what happens with Toronto and Philly, who doesn't play actually until Thursday. So, I mean, the crazy thing about the NBA is that's the things you've got to look at, right? You close out tonight, you've got at least a minimum of 4 to 5 days rest, because that series doesn't finish until Thursday in Toronto. If Philly even closes it out, so you can end up with a great amount of time to recoup and rejuvenate and replenish, get healthy if there's any type of nagging injuries. So if I'm Spoelstra and I'm telling those guys, we don't play no games with Atlanta tonight. We do what we did in Game 4. We go for the jugular and we blow them out and just end the game so we can all rest, let our secondary guys, third guys get out there, get a little bit of playoff experience, and call it a day.
Now, are you more of a rest guy, it sounds like, or have you ever been, okay, we're hot, we've played a couple games in a row, we are clicking on all cylinders, we're blowing out teams, we want to keep playing? Or is it once you get to the NBA playoffs, it's just such a grind, you have to have that time?
Yeah, because it doesn't get easier. In the first rounds, you want to try to close them out. You want to be preserved. And, if you're a high volume, high minute team, not much depth, but Miami does have good depth. But you want to be able to go all out, especially with what's going to be posed against them if Philly comes out of it. You want to be able to have just total energy. You don't want to give up none of those first 2 games. And you want to put yourself in a good position to be able to win the series and put the pressure on Philly and not give them that one game in Miami.
Right.
Yeah. Second game, obviously, we said is not going to be on Thursday, but Toronto is down 3-2 Again, we don't know what the prospects of how which Harden is going to show up, which Beard is going to be out there on the court. We have no clue on what's going to show up with them. It's also going to depend on what Tyrese Maxey is able to do. But the thing is they're on the road. They've got to go on the road and make it happen after coming up short and actually in good fashion, 15-point loss to Toronto. Toronto's still fighting. They're still in it, they feel. And they're back home. They can tie the series up and put it into a Game 7. So that extra rest, those extra couple days, it's going to be a tremendous game there in Toronto. And I expect they may pose a threat to them. It may go 7.
How much of an impact? Because I've heard all about Toronto's fan base, especially when they made that finals runs a few years back. Hell, sometimes it looked like a college basketball arena with some of those fans, how crazy they get. How much of an impact does that have, just having the fan base behind you, not only for the Raptors, knowing that, hey, our fan base is behind us, this place is going to be insane, but if you're the 76ers coming in, this is a hostile environment. Like, this is going to be tough, not only in a Game 6, but to close out the series.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. You're getting good rest, so that's good. So like I said, whatever ailments, you're able to get a couple of days of treatment and do all of those things. And you're able to go out there and make a strong push to try to get it done. But like you're saying, the element of what the Toronto crowd is going to be bringing to them and the energy that's going to be in the building is going to make it really tough for them to be able to close them out. It's going to come down to it. It's going to come down to who's going to execute, who's going to make the adjustments from the first half to the second half, and who's going to win the 50-50 balls, who's going to secure the rebounds, who's not going to allow extra possessions, who's going to hold true to the turnover game. And then again, who's going to show up for Philly, whether or not they show up or not. So that's going to be the key.
Would you say that, I don't even know if you could say it now, but the trust the process, I would consider they're still part of the trust the process era, trust the process phase. If they end up blowing this to the Raptors, blow a 3-0 lead, do you just blow it up and start from scratch? Is the process finished?
Philly?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
This would be a historic comeback for the Raptors.
Yeah, that would be absolutely historic. And listen, it would break the mold on all analytics concerning that. There's no question about that. But yeah, you wouldn't blow it up. But again, you would have to look not necessarily at the team, but you would have to look at Doc. And at this point, because yes, Doc got it done with KG, got it done with Paul Pierce, got it done with Ray Allen, but he's had great teams.
Yeah,
and just hasn't been able to get it done.
Nice.
Hasn't been able to get it done. So at that point, you'd have to look at Doc. There's just no other place I would be able to look at that point. I'd have to look at Doc.
Right.
Going on, we moving on in the Eastern Conference. Again, we know that Boston has closed out Brooklyn. They brought out the big brooms, not the small. They brought out the big, commercial brooms for them. It just listen. Those games were tight though. Every game pretty much was tight. It came down to it. It's just the resiliency, the lessons that Boston learned in some of those playoffs where they came up short. Those guys have matured. Those guys have grown. They know what it takes to lock down in the later halves of the fourth quarter and get the job done. They got the job done. Kudos to Boston. My C's, happy for them. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to do, but they're getting that good rest. Milwaukee's up 3-1. They don't play. They have an opportunity to finish it off on Wednesday, 7:30 on TNT at home. And so the last few games have not been close at all. They've been tremendous blowouts. I think Milwaukee has given it. Chicago has given it everything that they could. Taking 2 L's in Chicago doesn't look well, and that Milwaukee crowd is also going to be in there ready to get that job done and to close that series out.
Yeah, I think they probably close it out here. Vegas has it as a 12-point line, which, woof, that's a lot of points. The matchup predictor has Milwaukee at 81%. It'll be interesting to see, right? Zach LaVine's out, so again, I think you finished this, but we've talked about it extensively, Strick. These Eastern Conference playoffs, there's just so many questions. Without Middleton, listen, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, it looks like the next matchup would then be the Celtics. if I had to going into it, first off, hell of a series, especially if Middleton can come back.
Yeah.
But going off of that, if I had to tell you right now who I think's going to win that series, I don't know. Like I legitimately wouldn't be able to tell you. So it goes into your point where you want to get some rest. If you're Milwaukee, they're without Levine, you're playing at home, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Let's get Middleton healthy. Let's get some guys healthy, and let's just start focusing on Boston.
So, yeah, at that point, you would definitely be looking probably at a Friday start if they're able to close that game out. They're going to be in that rhythm of flow, whereas, like you said, Boston, so they may have an opportunity to go in and maybe steal one because they're going to be kind of in a rhythm and a flow. Those first starts to the series, yes, you've got scouting reports. Yes, you know what they're trying to do and what they're trying to get done. But at the end of the day, it's still got to be played. And usually the adjustments don't occur until game 2 and game 3. And so you may be able to see a Milwaukee come in there if they've got a hot hand, they've got energy, they're feeling good, they're confident, they're able to close this out, get a little bit of rest, but still have the blood flowing from just coming off of a series win to maybe go in there and get something done. So that's going to be what we're looking at.
Who's the best player in that series?
Definitely Giannis for me.
Giannis, even with
it's going to be Giannis and Tatum, because here's the thing:
Tatum's playing.
I don't know who Milwaukee has that can guard Tatum, but then at the other end, I like Horford. I like what they're going to do. There's going to be a lot of load action against Giannis, but at the end of the day, he's not going to have Marcus Smart on him. And if they try to continue to switch with Giannis, it's going to be trouble because Giannis is just too big, too strong.
He's good. Yeah,
he's too good. Moving over to the Western Conference, this is the one that I think is trouble. This is the one that it could be that 1-8. They could be in the history books as one of, I think, 3 teams that have been able to do it. They would probably be like the third that would be able to be in that category. But yeah, man, I think they're in trouble. And we saw that there was no Chris Paul show up. Is Chris Paul going to show up on tonight at TNT at 10 o'clock? We'll see. They're at home in Phoenix. They play very well in Phoenix. The crowds are going to be phenomenal. Are we going to have a Zion Williamson sighting in this series? Doesn't look like it, but I would venture to say if he could give me 15, close it out, I would love to see it.
It's interesting you say that, Strick, because I'm looking at the matchup right now on ESPN. An injury report, New Orleans has no injured players. I don't know if in games past they've been listing Zion on the injury report, but as of right now, they have no injured players. So I don't know if he gives you 10, 15. We've seen him do 360 windmill dunks for crying out loud in warm-up. So
off the vert too, not moving, off the vert.
And it's and no, we're not going to play him, and we're not going to play him because this is our franchise guy. Guess what, New Orleans? It's the playoffs.
That part.
Come on, I don't really understand that one, but I got to agree with you. And I'm a Chris Paul guy. I love me some Chris Paul, but man, that last game was brutal. And it's just it was not looking good. Devin Booker is really the core to that team, which up until this point, I always said it's Chris Paul. I think it's been proven that Devin Booker's the gel that holds that team together. So, yeah, I think the Suns are in trouble. And I think right here, you're at home, you're playing in Phoenix. Game 5, you lose this, it's done. I'm with you. You got to win Game 5 at home.
There's no question. No question about it. You've got to take care of business. And the series that has been going back and forth, but now they've got their star player back in Luka Doncic, who has returned with vengeance. Luka had 33 points on 13 rebounds, a double-double, solid double-double in his first playoff game coming off his calf injury, where they routed, blasted Utah. Didn't even allow him to get to 80 points, 102-77 on Monday night to take a 3-2 lead in this series. And listen, I give kudos to Jalen Brunson, who held it down in Luka's absence. Luka came back, struggled in Game 4, but hey, listen, turned it around in Game 5 and made it be known as to why he brings Luka magic when he shows up on the court.
Listen, the Mavericks are a sleeper. I agree with you. And they got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. Look, I know he's a good player and all. That's what changed. When he left the team, it changed. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the locker room. I don't know if it was the personnel giving guys other opportunities, whatever it may be. watch out for the Mavericks. And I've been saying for a couple of years now, it just takes one of these playoff series. We're going to see Luka Doncic prove that he is, if not the best player in the NBA, top 3 player in the NBA. And the kid can play. He's special. And now Jalen Brunson, like you said, dude can play. And when you have an all-world player in Luka Doncic and you have that piece that's ready to go, hey, I'm taking the Mavericks, especially because I'm pretty sure their matchup would be I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it. I'll get back to you on that.
No,
but
the
I know
matchup is going to be the Phoenix Pelicans, which that's a solid
it would be
matchup
so
for
if
them.
the Pelicans win, they would end up
Yeah.
playing the Pelicans. There's your path. They're right there. There's your path to the Western Conference Finals. And then at that point, anything can happen. So, hey, if the Mavericks made a run to the Western Conference Finals, all I'll say is don't be surprised. I'll also say don't be surprised when the Utah Jazz blow it up in the offseason when it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and the thing, if the Mavs do get to where they play, they would have to play Golden State. That would be a tremendous matchup, but I would have to favor Golden State. I don't know if defensively that that the Mavs would be able to contain all of that movement that goes on. They switch, but they're not a great switching defending team.
No.
And if you're switching and having to get, those mismatch opportunities that would exist between that team, they would probably have to play small. And they're capable. Yeah. They're very capable with Luka's ability to rebound. They're very capable of going small. But I would favor that matchup with Golden State. But like you said, anything is possible. Anything
especially, hey, you got that Mark Cuban Mavericks
Luka
magic, man. I'm telling you. In 2011, they had that Dirk, Jason Kidd, Jason Terry. The Mavericks have done it once. Why not again, right? Hey, who knows? Who knows?
A lot of up and down right now, 2-2. This game is going to commence back in Memphis between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The series is tied. It's been back and forth. I think in this series, you've got Karl Anthony Towns averaging almost 30 points in the wins and like 11 points or something like that, crazy, like in the low teens when they lose. Right. So I think it's going to go through Karl Anthony Towns. If Karl Anthony Towns can give them 2 more of those tremendous games that he's been able to provide, I think it brings trouble. They held Ja down. Gave them, but in Ja being held down, Desmond Bane went nuts for 8 threes. Yeah. So in that series, you just don't know what's going to happen. Edwards could go. I mean, it's just so many things that can happen in that series. So I'm interested to watch that one tonight. I'll be tuned in watching this one to see how that goes in this series.
I don't know if it's just because I'm a Timberwolves fan. I love the small market especially like Minnesota. I think it's been outside of that Jimmy Butler year with Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, that team. It's been 10, 12 years before that they'd made the playoffs entirely, and that's when they had KG. And before that, as a franchise, they'd never made the playoffs. I love the small market team. I love how invested the Minnesota fans are. Patrick Beverley, love the energy that he brings. This is going to be my hot take. The Timberwolves take it in 6, and we're going to find out tonight if that ends up happening. It very well might not. But that's going to be my hot take for the first round. I got the Timberwolves in 6.
Huge prediction right there.
Yeah.
Finalizing coming up to a close on Wednesday, Denver will find themselves in Golden State for game 5 of that series. And it looks like it could be over for me.
Yeah.
They barely pulled it out, but they did it in Golden State. They look just very lethargic. The Golden State is like we're just kind of going through the motions and still almost won the game. I just don't think there's enough there out of Denver to go back into Golden State and steal another one.
No, once the Nuggets found out.
Well, actually, I think this game is in Golden State. Absolutely,
Golden State. Yeah. Once the Nuggets announced that Jamal Murray wasn't coming back for the playoffs, it was done then and there. I think it's just you can't go from having a guy that dropped 55 in the bubble. Basically willed them to the Western Conference Finals by himself, and then you get the blow that he's not coming back at all in the playoffs. Once that was done, morale was down. Nah, this is a wrap. I think tomorrow night will do it. It's a wrap.
All right, that closes out our Hitting the Hardwood segment. We're going to come back and talk about the top 10 college quarterbacks and the Heisman Watch for 2022 for the NCAA season of next year. We're going to see what they're talking about when we come back right here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a ready next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney, Nebraska, February 2nd and 3rd. Landmark Sprayer Clinic offers expansive equipment and technology training on different models of John Deere and Hagie sprayers. Learn about the newest technology, machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and more. We'll be offering free dicamba certification. Join us February 2nd and 3rd in Kearney. RSVP by calling your local Landmark location or at landmarkimp.com/events.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln. Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning in to Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back on the block, where the block is absolutely, undoubtedly hot. Right here, we're going to talk a little bit on college football, this segment right how, you know, the quarterbacks have been down a little bit this year. This is going to be a pretty weak draft for quarterbacks, but I think next year is going to be a little bit more light shining on the quarterbacks. So we're going to talk a little bit about the quarterbacks this year, who to look for, who's going to be the Heisman watch, where's some of the strengths of the quarterback position, who is some sleepers that may emerge. So we're going to talk a little bit about that right now in the segment. So call us or text us on the Sutter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685. Give us your thoughts, or you can also call us on the Honda Lincoln hotline at the same number at 402-464-5685, where we're going to discuss this topic today. So listen, by this time next year, NFL teams will have a great opportunity to take a look, weigh the options, weigh the merits of the likes of, right now for me, Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are two potential franchise passers that can literally dominate the division and their position for 2022, unless just something just goes totally awry. Those are the A-listers that I think that top the quarterback positions for me coming into this season. But there are some other emerging quarterbacks that are kind of starting to shed a little bit of light, shine some light. You've got Southern Cal's obviously transferring from Oklahoma over to USC and Caleb Williams. You also got Tennessee's Hendon Hooker. And then you've got a trio of starters out of the ACC with Wake Forest, Sam Hartman. You've got Miami's Tyler Van Dyke. And then somebody to watch that may kind of come out of the woodworks is North Carolina State's Devin Leary. I think he's one that may surprise some people this year. There's some underdog guys that are kind of lurking underneath the water, like an alligator ready to take a bite out of some fresh meat. But Utah's Cameron Rising may be someone to take a look at. And then you've got the one that was sitting in the background behind Caleb Williams that went out to the SEC in South Carolina, Spencer Rattler. We haven't really had a chance to really see what he can fully do, but now the reins are going to be turned over to him. These are the quarterbacks that I think have what the FBS has to offer. And I'll give you my top five, and then I'll let you give your top five, and then we'll talk about the bottom half of that. For me, it starts with Bryce Young. Bryce Young from Alabama, I think, because he's the reigning – it's his to lose. He's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. He did, and even when it looked bad for them, he was able to pull – some strings, he puppeteering, get Alabama going. Unfortunately, had a loss of some great receivers on his core that hurt them in the championship game. But I think it's him that if he can get protected a little bit better, I think if the offensive line is able to give him a little bit of time, I think the line play for him was abysmal last year. One of the tackles that they have now is Evan Neal, who is going to look to protect him on his backside. So for me, it's going to look like it's Bryce Young's to lose. Who's your number one?
Here, give me just a second, Strick. I want to make sure we give a shout out to Heavenly Waffles. We had them come in right now, and I just got thrown this sandwich in my face.
Man, no, let's do it. No, we can wait. We can wait.
Make sure I take a bite out of this. If you're watching the Starter Heyman video stream, it's something I've never heard. So listen, Heavenly Waffles, Strick. It's made out of Greek yogurt. I feel bad. I'm talking with my mouth open, but it's made out of Greek yogurt. Is what the waffles are made out of. Dry yogurt.
Wow.
You want to hop on the mic and tell us about it real quick?
Yeah, tell us about Heavenly Waffles. I want to know.
Want to keep this conversation.
I'm coming in town. I want to understand what I'm getting into.
Rick wants to know about the Heavenly Waffles. So you just got to give us a rundown of what it is then?
So 40% of our mix is yogurt. It's a dry yogurt in the mix.
Okay.
7 grams of protein, only 110 calories per waffle. We mix it with club soda and egg and oil, or you can mix it with beer or bubbly or LaCroix.
Dude. This is awesome.
And that's how Strick,
that's why you gotta come out to Nebraska to try this out. I'm telling you.
Man,
So-
Heavenly Waffles.
Heavenly Waffles, you can order them online. heavenlywaffles.com. We haven't, so the training table is serving them at Nebraska. All
Wow.
Were they serving Heavenly Waffles when you were over here?
They were not serving Heavenly Waffles. It was very basic. You know what I mean? You got the steak, you got all the types of protein. We were doing creatine like crazy back then, but Heavenly Waffles. So tell us where are you located? How can we find you there in Lincoln?
So we have in Lincoln, they're only right now at the training table. We have them in 6 places and 6 restaurants in Omaha. We have them in San Diego at Chiefy Cafe in the Gaslamp District. We have them in Waco, Killeen, Fort Hood, Texas. They're opening. So there's a coffee shop chain called Boozy Beans and Coffee, and they're opening 30 restaurants or coffee shops all over Texas. In Omaha, we have them in Karma Coffee on 156th and Dodge. The Table Coffee Shop is freaking killing it. They're going through 2 30-pound bags every 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah. 700. That's 778 waffles every 4 days.
Listen, if I just randomly get these kind of waffles thrown in my face every day, I would have no problem with that. So you're welcome.
What is the uniqueness? I want to quickly. What is the uniqueness of the waffle? I know it has healthy content. It's low in calories.
Right.
What is the uniqueness of why I would take those as opposed to my Eggos?
Well, because the Eggos, the majority. So what we're doing at Heavenly Waffles is we're replacing 40% of the traditional flour that's in a pancake or waffle mix and adding dry yogurt. So it's a dry yogurt in our mix. We blend it up with club soda and egg and oil. You cook it off, or it holds for 4 days. So if you mix it up on a Monday, it doesn't break down or separate. You can cook them off and freeze them. I'll do instead of putting a half a cup of mix in the waffle iron for what I did for you, I did a 1/4 cup, peel it up so it's flat on one side, waffle shaped on the other, put it in the refrigerator, and then use it as bread. And it's lower carb, lower sodium,
high protein too. That's what I'm talking about.
I heard,
That's my kind of waffle.
A total of 8 grams because we add an egg to it. If you look at the Kodiak cakes comparison, they have, I think, 390 milligrams of sodium. And
they do.
We have 125. Carbon's Golden Malted and Heartland waffles, which is pretty much every waffle you get out at a restaurant are those 2 different waffles. They have almost 1,100 milligrams of sodium, and Kodiak cakes have 890.
Wow.
And we have 125.
So if you're trying to get some waffles, but then it's still trying to be a little bit nutritious conscious.
Sure. Although it wasn't intentional. When I came up with the recipe,
really?
It was a combination of some ingredients of pancakes my mom made and my grandma made. I combined those ingredients. One of the ingredients was sour cream, and one day there wasn't any sour cream in the refrigerator, but there was yogurt. I'm like, oh, that'll work. So we have them in a total of 35 restaurants nationwide today, but we just picked up 215 more.
Wow.
So probably in 2023, by the end of 2023, they'll be in about 250 restaurants nationwide.
Awesome. And then if people want to find it in Lincoln, how can they do so?
Order it online.
Order it online.
Yeah.
Best way to
and
get
tell every restaurant, everyone in Lincoln, tell every restaurant you go into that they need to serve Heavenly Waffles.
I will make sure to tell people that, actually, because I'm a big nutrition guy. I love the protein, low carb. Tastes great too.
They're amazing. They
Great.
taste decadent, but they're not.
That's what I like
All
to
right,
hear.
I'm sorry I hijacked it.
No, you're completely fine. Hey, if you're gonna hijack the show, the best way to do it is always food.
Food.
Always food or wine.
Or wine.
Strick knows that too. Food or
I'll
wine?
be there on Thursday. So man,
We'll
in
be
in
there.
Lincoln, I can only I'm gonna have to invade the training table and just say I've got eligibility still left, and maybe jump in there and get some.
We're coming down. We're going to be here at the studio on Thursday morning from like probably 8:30 until we get kicked out of here.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
yeah, I don't land until midday, so I won't be down until probably a little maybe after 2 something. But you make sure you leave something for me. I want to get a good taste of that.
I will leave something, and you can also go to the training table and get them.
Nah, Strick's always welcome at the training table. I know
Exactly.
that much. Don't let him tell you any differently.
All right. Well, it was great talking to you.
Yeah,
guys.
awesome.
Tell everyone you know.
Thank you so much
Heavenly
again.
Waffles.
Absolutely. I mean, it was delicious.
I'm
Heavenly
glad you-
Waffles.
yeah,
I will
nothing
make
like
sure. Heavenlywaffles.com. Wow, Strick. Again, sorry, I feel like I cut you off there for a second, but
No, man. Hey, listen.
when food's thrown at me, I am never gonna say no. I'll tell you that much.
It's unfortunate. We may only get to the top 5 today. We'll go ahead and take an early break. Give us a little bit more time on the back end of the break. We'll try to get through the first top 5, who we think is our top 5. I've already given my top 1. You give your top 1, and we'll work it down to the 5. We'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket right here on the block right after this.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Again, we're joined by Yoshi Hardrick, former Nebraska offensive lineman, currently a Winnipeg Blue Bomber of the CFL, 2-time champion. What was it like going from the Big 12 to the Big 10 one year to the next?
Well, my first defensive end was 280 to 300 pounds. And every team we played had 2 tight ends in. I was like, we're about to play some football.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Breezy but warmer conditions on the way for our Tuesday, topping out near 72. South winds could gust over 25 to 30 miles per hour. Heading into tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low down to 50. Even warmer tomorrow with an afternoon high of around 80, and once again, south winds gusting to near 30. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SCC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're going to finish up on the block. We're going to talk about college football quarterbacks. Who's going to lead? We've got a better group of quarterbacks that are coming out, hopefully. Hopefully they don't fall off the wagon. NIL money can maybe make some people fall off the wagon a little bit and stop working on the craft. But we're hoping that's not the case in this situation. Especially, I think they've been talking about Bryce Young and making like almost $3 million or something.
Crazy money.
Crazy money. So at this point, I think he's still leading the charge for me as the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Just needs a little help on the line. He's still my number one guy to lead Alabama back to the championship series.
Yeah, I've got him at number 1 too, Strick. I think the most, or at least the craziest thing about me, and I know this has always kind of been the case, but I have him at 1, and then I'll go ahead and get into number 2. I have CJ Stroud, both 20 years old last season, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, Bryce Young, 4,800 yards, 47 touchdowns, 7 picks, Heisman Trophy. CJ Stroud, 20 years old, 4,400 yards, 40-some touchdowns, 6 picks. Set a Rose Bowl record for most touchdown passes in a football game. First team all Big Ten, 20 years old. Like you said, I mean, if you're an NFL team and you see these guys, especially as young as they are, competing on this high of a level, they're not playing at the – don't want to do a slight to Zach Wilson to the New York Jets, but they're not playing for BYU. They're playing for Ohio State and Alabama. They're playing big boy football, and they're putting up these kind of numbers. Yeah, those are my top 2.
Yeah, I would have to say CJ Stroud. He finds himself in my top 2 also. With Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave breaking off and heading to the NFL, probably going to be first-round draft picks. I mean, he don't have the luxury of looking towards those guys to make something happen, but he does have one of his top guys coming back in Jackson Smith and Jigba. And we have some people that are staying on in Emeka Egbuka and Marvin Harrison Jr. You know that name. That name is been around for a long time as a pro. So he's got a few that are still there. His numbers shouldn't fall off too crazily. Had a very good redshirt freshman year, probably progress and grow and get better. And so he still has some weapons that he can work off there. My number 3 is Sam Hartman out of Wake Forest. It's a surprise probably for some, but he's a 5th-year junior. I mean, so he's been around. He's seen coverages. He knows what it's like to play in the big games. You know, the ACC obviously has been down some. Even with Clemson going down there, Florida State's not there anymore. Miami's not really, but Miami's actually looking to bounce back a little bit. And so my 3 and 4 is going to be basically that bounce back with Sam Hartman there. He went for what, 4,200 yards and 39 touchdowns. So he can find himself in the race if he continues to put up those type of numbers. And then I go with Tyler Van Dyke down there in Miami. Miami's trying to make a resurgence. They're trying to kind of come out of the Dungeons and Dragons of the bottom of the barrel of just taking all these L's. And it amazes me that Florida schools have it's been more success with South Florida and Central Florida, but the big Floridas have been falling off the map with Florida and Miami and Florida State have all been down. But Tyler Van Dyke is looking to change that. Big time passer, big arm. Only he's just looking to bounce back. I think he's just looking to bounce back and just really make things happen. It's his 2nd year there. And so he's my number 4 guy.
I like that you're showing my ACC guys some love, Strick. I'm a big ACC guy, so I appreciate that. I actually have Tyler Van Dyke at 3 Freshman last year, 3,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 6 picks as a freshman. Manny Diaz, I will be the first to tell you, not a good coach. Was not qualified to have that job to begin with. Mario Cristobal, that dude can coach. I mean, we saw him at Oregon. We saw him, I wouldn't say turn Oregon around, but he had them pumping out some Pac-12. I mean, they were competing. They were right up there. And Mario Cristobal actually played under College Football Hall of Fame coach Jimmy Johnson. So he played under some good coaches. He's coached at the Power 5 level already. He's a Miami alum, offensive tackle out of Miami. He's the piece. And him matched up with Tyler Van Dyke, I'm telling you right now, when Tyler Van Dyke is a Heisman finalist, do not be surprised.
Whoa, you're going on a limb like that?
I'm telling you, this kid is the real deal. I watch a lot of ACC football, and it's just one of those things. And I said that a couple years ago about Sam Howell. I didn't really take into the fact as much. I mean, he had a few guys go off to the NFL. A couple guys graduate. That hurt him a little bit. This Miami team's legit. Mario Cristobal's legit. And it really worries me because we talked about Hendon Hooker. We might have to get to him tomorrow. He might be on the back end of the list. But he was at Virginia Tech. I thought he was going to be the up-and-comer in the ACC. Virginia Tech found a way to screw that over. Thank you, Justin Fuente. But insert this Tyler Van Dyke kid. I'm telling you, he's going to be legit. And at number 4, I'm right there with you. I got Sam Hart, fifth year junior. And you're playing, like you said, the ACC is not what it usually is. The Atlantic's going to be stacked this year because you mentioned Devin Leary too. NC State, Wake Forest, and Clemson, who's obviously always there. Sam Hartman, if you can get a guy to stay 5 years at one school,
right,
that doesn't happen. That legitimately does not happen, especially a guy that throws for 4,200 yards and scores 39 touchdowns. At one point, Strick, I don't know if you knew this, Wake Forest was 9th in the country. When you had the graphic of who's going to make the playoff, there were 7 teams. That 7th team was Wake Forest. They're there. They're competing. So, again, those two guys, I know I'm an ACC homer, and people are probably going to come at me and tell me I'm an ACC homer, but I'm telling you, those two guys you're going to want to watch out for. I'm right there with you.
And I'll round out the top 5, and I'm going to go out on a limb only because there's such familiarity with this player and their coach. I'm going to go with Caleb Williams. Down there in USC. And I think just because of the chemistry that they had at Oklahoma going down there's familiarity with what he wants. And there's going to be still a lot of the same terminologies. It's not going to be too much of crazy drop-offs. The talent is there. We just don't know what he's going to fully have, but we'll hear from Bach when he comes back. Maybe he'll be able to get a taste of what happened down there. But he's only a sophomore too. I mean, that's the other thing we've got to think about. Caleb Williams is still young, still progressing, and I think this is what helps him in this process in a packed quarterback driven year. I think he's going to be a solid guy for them down at USC. We'll see what the Pac-12 has to offer him and what type of. Usually they do pack some good DBs down there in the Pac-12, but we'll see how Caleb Williams fares. I'm looking at him at number 5.
Well, Strick, I don't know if you just copied mine word for word, but I got Caleb Williams at 5 too. And here's the biggest takeaway that I have from him last year: 19-year-old true freshman. Before the season, Spencer Rattler was the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Obviously, didn't work out for him too well, but you replaced who was going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft as a 19-year-old true freshman. In 8 games, you put up 21 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions. And a big thing for a young kid, I like to see how you perform in the big game. Against Oklahoma State, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. You're a 19-year-old kid. You're playing your in-state rival, and you can put up those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
Kid's got grit, and it really is a testament to Lincoln Riley and the relationship those guys have. That Lincoln Riley, he bolts. 3 weeks later, in comes Caleb Williams. I mean, there's something to be said for that, and there's a reason that USC. I was going to bring this up the other day when we were talking to our Oklahoma guy. USC actually had 33,000 fans at their spring game. That's the largest since the 1990s.
Wow.
People are ready for this kid. I mean, they've got hype. Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams, I'm buying. I'm right there every step of the way. We got a little bit of a difference in the top 5, but I agree. Caleb Williams is a stud, and that's another guy. Watch out for. Probably going to be a Heisman finalist.
We'll come back tomorrow. We'll tap in on the bottom 5 of those quarterback predictions for 2020, 22-23 season. And we're going to finish off on the block. Again, we thank you for tuning in. Also, always hit the Sutter Heyman text line. We'd love to hear from you. Are we crazy in our top 5? Did we say anything that was ludicrous?
Am I an ACC homer? Tell me.
We need elbows. We need to throw bows. Yeah. Ludicrous comments here on the block. But no, again, I'm E. Strick. That is my partner, Nate Dogg. And listen, 93.7 The Ticket. You can always find us here at 4 to 6 Central Standard Time or on all streaming platforms to include YouTube. Always hit that like button. Always hit that notification button and always subscribe. We thank you again for joining us here on the block. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, right here, 93.7 The Ticket.